Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't.
Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, which is the one and only Red's View. I am your gracious host, Jay Red. Before we begin, make sure you hit the like button and then make sure that you subscribe to youtube.com/WeAuthenticNetwork. Now, I have another special guest with me this week. He goes by the name of Beepa Tha King. What's happening? All the way from Valdosta, Georgia. Thank you for joining us today, man.
Well, Devin, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm feeling blessed. And as I tell everybody, I'm just trying to stay alive and avoid Corona. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That Rona's real, ain't it?
That's all. You feel me?
Absolutely, man. So y'all know that when you check out Red's View, you're gonna get the exclusive new people, upcoming talent, legends, everybody. So man, I'm just excited that y'all came through, man. For real.
I appreciate y'all having us, man. You know what I'm saying? We had a nice ride up through. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot going on in the city that we want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And Miss Angela, I appreciate her. You know what I'm saying? She's a great person. And I'm glad she hooked us up with you guys. You know what I'm saying? So we can do further more business. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive into your history, man.
Right.
I got a chance to look at your bio and things like that, right? I've seen that you work with numerous people, and I saw that you began I ain't gonna say began your career, but you started rapping like at the age of like 6, right?
Yeah, you know, I mean, just like listening to the older music, you know what I'm saying? I love the stories that they told, you know what I'm saying? So I paid attention to that, and actually getting older, you know what I'm saying, when I bumped into rap, you know what I'm saying, the singing started turning into rap, listening to Biggie Smalls and Bone Thugs and Homie, like.
Say it again.
Biggie Smalls.
And who?
Bone Thugs and Homie.
Oh, those are my dudes. I get excited. You see the shirt I got on, or you know what I'm saying?
That part.
that part. Okay.
So they taught me the different techniques about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, further, you know, the different artists, but you know, yeah, I started young and recorded. You know what I'm saying? When I was like 13, that was the first time I actually really recorded a track. You know what I mean? And the Paper Chase Productions, DJ Bird. You know what I'm saying? The studio we went to. Very immaculate studio that I was in, very young. Also, after recording that, performed, the first time I performed, man, it was like in front of like 2,000 people, and they went crazy when I hit the stage, man. It was a blessing. Yeah. So that what gave me the drive to keep going on with it.
Absolutely. So it was like, where was it at, the 2,000 people?
In Valdosta, Georgia, the Mathis City Auditorium, you know what I'm saying? The seats like 1,500 to 2,000 people. Yeah. And like I said, it was the first time I ever actually performed in front of people. You know what I'm saying? So when I did that, you know, like I say, the first 3 rows, probably like 15 to 30 seats back, everybody stood up.
Everybody stood up.
I'm talking about, so that gave me an adrenaline rush, like, damn, this is where I'm supposed to be at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, in front of the people.
Yeah, and obviously that means that you did a good job. Different guests that I've had on here, I express how important it is to be able to perform on stage, because you write those lyrics and create the songs. How are you gonna get on stage and not actually rock the crowd? That's what hip hop is all about.
That's my main thing that I really practice on a lot. Like, you know, it's all about performing your song. You know what I'm saying, and giving people something. Like, okay, I heard what you said, but show me what you said. You know what I'm saying? So the movements, even, you know, being on point with the beat if you can. I mean, I ain't no dance or nothing like that, but I can vibe real good. So, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to my brother Nino Nelson. That's an immaculate viber. You know what I'm saying? He vibe real good. So I like his 2-step. So, you know what I mean? We 2-step. So,
yeah, man. Yeah, and I think presentation is everything, because say if I don't know you and then I see you in your song more than anybody else, I'm gonna be like, man, I'm gonna check that out. Just like I remember growing up back in the day, you know, you see the music video before you hear the song. The music video gives you the visual to actually be like, man, I'm gonna dive into this instead of just hearing on the radio. You're like, whatever, but you see the video and you're like, oh snap. So yeah, that's what's up, man. That's dope. So you mentioned some of your influences and stuff, right? What albums did you listen to that kind of helped you develop your rap style?
Nas, I Am, Me Against the World, Tupac. You know, 8 Ball and MJG, you gotta get them, you know what I'm saying? They the one, I grew up with them, you know what I'm saying, learning the difference between, you know what I'm saying, how you treat a woman, bitch, and the whole and stuff like that. JT Money, Trick Daddy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, the knowledge and wisdom, you know what I'm saying, that I was actually really getting from the records actually really came from Nas and Tupac. I like how they, you know what I'm saying, constructed their music. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. And just heard your single that you got out right now. What's the actual name of it again?
My Vice President is Black.
My Vice President is Black. And
Right.
it kind of gave me the vibe that Nas had on the Jeezy record. You know, you remember when they put out My President is Black?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, so I can see what you're saying with that.
Right.
But who did the production on that?
That's White Brothers production out of White Springs, Florida.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They did a very good job. Doug from Sony, he the one mastered the track. My manager, he pitched the song, what the idea to me. And, went in the lab and, that's what I came up with. But I changed a couple things in it quite a few times until I got it to the point to where it is right now. And I appreciate the Ashery to have the idea to even do it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, that wasn't something that I would have came up with or thought myself.
Right.
So with the team that I'm with, everybody came to the round table and they thought they came up with it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, they just gave me the title and I went from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I can say that it was very theatrical. Like, with the sound effects, and it sounded like you were at a rally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was a real big part of it. So I think it was a dope single.
Yeah, it is. And we pushing that right now on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Beepa Tha King, make sure you subscribe to my channel, like and share. You know what I'm saying? Leave your comments. You know what I'm saying? But Beepa Tha King on YouTube, that's where you can find it. That's finna hit the stores beginning of next month. You know what I'm saying? We're getting everything about it wrapped up and everything. We got a couple of people calling, interested. A couple of labels. Talking. But we ain't gonna put nothing out right now.
Right. But it's getting attention. That's the most important thing. Yeah. Definitely. And it's for a good cause. Yeah. Now, when we talk about you doing your music back then, what was like the first project? Did you put out any projects around that time when you were a teenager?
The Crow's Nest, like I say, shout out to DJ Bird again. He the one got out, gathered everybody up in the hood where Roy's raised up at. And he, like I said, he had a studio, and we did a compilation album called The Bird Nest, and that's the first time I actually really been, actually really recording. I also been on a track, album. And after that, everything went through the roof, and then me and him started working closely together. He actually really taught me how to produce beats and stuff like that. So, but that was the first. That was '98 when we dropped The Crow's Nest, and I just been doing projects since then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you were actually rapping in the '90s, getting all that, man.
Yeah, getting all the information that I needed and learning. You know what I'm saying? How to work with different people. I also been in quite a few groups. You know what I'm saying? But now coming from groups and going solo, it's pretty easy. But some of the work is like kind of hard when you actually really. You know what I'm saying? Doing it yourself.
Yeah. One thing, because I'm in a group as well, and I could say, like, when you're a solo artist, you kind of get more leeway and more room to just do what you want to do instead of having different opinions, like, to get a good track, which is great to be in a group. But I feel like the best artists always come from groups.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Outkast. Look at everybody.
New Edition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, because that's where you get to learn the grind from. That's where you get, you know what I'm saying, your knowledge from, and knowing like, hey, I know if I do this, I know I can do this great by myself. Because some people in the group may not have the same energy as others, or may not, want to rehearse more than others and stuff like that. So as you start doing it yourself, and your drive is way harder than them, or you know what I'm saying, you got more ambition about it, it's good to go solo.
Right. Exactly. And I've seen some of the people that you work with. I saw Blood Raw, and one name that stood out to me the most is Duke the God. Yeah, shout out to Dipset.
Hold on, not that dude, the guy. He from Tampa.
Oh, from Tampa. My bad. Okay.
No, you good. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you called it out. It's gonna be in the making. But
yeah.
Guy from Tampa, man. Real great artist, man. Dude, shout out to Dude, the guy. You know what I'm saying? From Tampa.
From Tampa. Okay. Yeah, well, I saw Blood Raw. Yeah. Definitely. He was, for those who don't know, that he was a part of Jeezy's camp. Yeah. CTE.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that? Was it a collaboration? Or?
Oh yeah, it was a collaboration. RIP to Total Chaos from Tallahassee Studio 360. I came in the studio and we did a couple of projects together, and he got in contact with me before he came to my city and performed to a show. He was like, man, I got this track, man, that, me and you and Blood Raw go good on it, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, send it. He sent it, you know what I'm saying? And I jumped on it, you know what I'm saying? And we got back, and we listened to it, and it was something that I think it went on Total Chaos album that he came up with. Okay. Yeah, R.I.P. to Total Chaos for that opportunity. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, definitely. So with the song that I heard, right, I heard content, right? And I think that especially like, you coming from the 90s and being influenced by the albums that we all grew up on.
Right.
How important do you think content is? Because I say like in like the last 10 years, the the dancing songs or the easy to listen to songs or whatever, the auto tune, all that kind of took over,
Right.
and we still have content in rap. But
Right.
you got your Kendrick Lamar's, your Drake's,
Right.
your J. Cole's, right?
Right.
But I feel like back in the '90s, it was way more content pushed to the forefront.
Right.
But how important do you think it is to just keep that going?
It's very important because, like I say, the ones in front of us, they learn from us and we learn from them. The content, as long as you give them the great content of what they need, and you taking time and perfecting your craft. You know what I'm saying? The content is great. Hopefully that it can come back to the daylight the way it was in the '90s. People in the '90s used to be three verses, 16 bars.
Man.
They actually really put mind, heart, tears, soul in that music.
Absolutely.
But now it came to the point to where it's like you saying a couple of words, more ad libs and lyrics. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying the music garbage nowadays, but it seems like too many people ain't working hard to actually really give the real listener, what I'm saying, what they need.
And it's simplistic, and like I said, I don't hate on it. You know what I'm saying? Because you need that to be. And we've had records like that, like the Kid and Plays and Vanilla Ice and stuff. But I think it was more of a balance back then.
Right.
But nowadays, I think more than ever, especially with like Black Lives Matter going on. You know what I'm saying? With the coronavirus didn't hit us and stuff like that. It's very important to have that content because it ain't no party right now.
It ain't, and like I said, when I created the track, when I actually really started looking over certain things that I wasn't really paying attention to, it started to make sense as more and more I start listening to that song that I created. You know what I'm saying? So I basically learned from myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to start paying more attention to this. Start reading this a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the content nowadays, as long as it's positive, you know what I'm saying? We got time to mess off and do things that really don't make sense, but it's all entertainment.
Yeah.
But keeping it positive for the people, you know what I'm saying? The content is great.
Yeah.
If it comes from a great artist, like you mentioned, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, I really like them. You know what I'm saying? Big Sean, I really dig them. You know what I'm saying? Some great artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And with your music, I saw that you like to make positive music. Definitely. Have you? Do you do a blend of like positive music and like different things like that?
I mean, like I told you, like I say, I really stepped outside my comfort zone with that, and actually really wanted to get a different feedback from all of what I grew up on, all the negative music.
Yeah, right.
I got a trunk load of that, but I wanted to take a different perspective, route with it this time and get a different, different attention, a notary for it. And like I said, I got a lot of people interested, in it. They call and like I said, a couple deals we don't turn down because paperwork one, right?
Yeah.
But I just know a lot of people interested in it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so I was thinking about making a little EP, a couple more songs like that, and tribute out to George Floyd and the guy Kendrick Johnson that died. Got also got wrapped up in the wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple.
Yeah. That was in Valdosta,
right?
Where that was. Wow.
And my brother, if it weren't for my brother, was talking to him. I think one of his cousins. I wouldn't have made the song that I made already. It was because of my brother. My brother was friends with their family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I made the song on account of my brother, and my brother got killed. Matter of fact, tomorrow will be 3 years. My brother, his daddy, got shot down in our neighborhood. Pretty bad situation, but on account of him, it's the reason why I actually really made the song. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't actually really know what happened until I started reading the newspapers and stuff like that. So, so when I drop that, I'm gonna definitely let you know.
Yeah. Let me know that for sure. But so with everything that's been going on this year, man, like of course we have police homicides all the time, right? But I think this year it increased so much because of the coronavirus and. White supremacists felt like they needed to let loose on somebody because they can't come out their house like they usually could and stuff like that. So how do you think this year has been, like from an artist perspective? Because I know you made this song and, you're talking about voting and things like that. So
for our people to, to try to see if we can make change, man, because like the things that's going on is very harsh to even hear and to even read in the papers. I guarantee if the police got the same time that another normal person got that committed a crime, they won't be doing what they're doing.
Exactly, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So, I just, by them being, having a certain shield, they able to do to the people what they feel, and that ain't right. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You know, just get what your retirement, your pension took. You know, us, we get 30, 40 years or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's the reason why, you know, our people should stand up, you know what I'm saying, and vote and try to make a difference, you know what I'm saying? Not for us, the generations that's upon of us, you know what I'm saying? Because by the time they get up, things should be running accurately great for them, you know, so they won't have to worry about well, it's always going to be racism, you know, way it goes.
Yeah, that's true.
You
Yeah.
know, I could be sitting with a couple of people that seem like they like me on the outside, but on the inside, they like that dude, you know what I'm saying?
Word, right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, but yeah, it's a great thing, man. You know, try to make a difference and change for our people, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you see in the news recently with Ice Cube, where he was talking about, you know, the contract with Black America?
Yeah, I caught a couple pieces of it, and like he said, he was wanting to go talk to go talk to Donald Trump, you know, about people in color. You know, I was at work when I heard it, so you know, by the time I actually really tried to catch it, I ain't catch the whole interview, but I heard that part.
Yeah.
You know, I think they had an interview in his house.
Yeah.
CNN.
CNN. It's been a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually, I caught a little bit of it, you know what I'm saying, catch the whole interview, but I actually really want to go look it up and see what he was talking about.
Absolutely. I think it's important for every black person. Basically, he was saying that he's tired of us being, you know, included just with minority people of color. We need stuff specifically for us because we're the ones that are getting hit real hard. And I agree with you. If the officers knew something bad would happen to them, you know what I'm saying, they wouldn't be doing it at all. And I feel like Ice Cube made that specifically for us. So that's a big thing. But yeah, man, but I think that with everything that's going on right now, like I said, and I feel like it's time for artists to step up as well, you know what I'm saying, and make a difference. And like Lil Baby, you know what I'm saying, Lil Baby put out his track, which was dope. Very dope. The Bigger Picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I was just like, man, we need more artists like that to put stuff out like that.
Like Nas, he'll be a good candidate. You know what I'm saying? G's will be a good candidate. You know, I feel like I was a good candidate speaking on what we were speaking on, and you know, because to even write a song like that, you gotta actually really feel it.
Yeah.
First of all,
got to.
I mean, it ain't too many artists that can probably, you know, touch bases on that type of song and stick to the strip.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you gotta really be in tune with yourself and actually really be in tune with the people to actually really give them some type of substance that they can feel and go off.
Yeah, definitely. So back to the music side, what type of beats do you prefer to rap on? Because I know nowadays we got trap beats, and you know I like melodic for the most part, but like trap hard,
gangster, club bangers.
Yeah.
Basically within that area, in some inspirationals, you know what I'm saying. But you know, basically in that genre right there. You know, I don't like to step out too far side of it, but those type of beats I like, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I can get my point across.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can have fun with the music, man. You know what I'm saying? So that type of beat, bro.
One of my last questions is, what makes you feel like, you know, as far as you being an artist, what makes you stand out versus everybody else that's out there right now?
Number one, the style, you know what I'm saying? Beepa Tha King, the name, you know what I'm saying? You know, so I mean, I feel like, you know, once the people get a great view of what's going on, and they, you know, pick up to my style and the type of things I do, and I stand out by myself, you know what I'm saying? You know, like me being the person that I am, I'm already outstanding. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's gonna make Beepa Tha King stand out, you know what I'm saying, by the work and the things I do. You know what I'm saying? It's just salute to anybody and everybody that's doing their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And your name, Beepa Tha King. Right. Walk me through how you got that, man.
I mean, I was 3 months old when I got the name Beepa.
Okay.
So it ain't something that came from the streets, you know what I'm saying? That came out the house.
Okay.
And so, you know, every black male that's born, you know what I'm saying, is a king. Every black woman is a queen.
Absolutely.
So I just took on what was rightfully mine.
Yeah.
Beepa Tha King.
Beepa Tha King.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were about to say when you were young, you used to mess with a beeper a lot or something like that.
No, but I mean, the name did come from every time my mama put me down in the baby bed, I go off every 2 to 3 minutes like a beeper.
Oh, like a beeper.
So
okay.
that's why they say we gonna name him Beeper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was the name that was given. You know what I'm saying? A couple of months old. So
yeah,
in-house name.
Yeah, definitely. Well, y'all know the election is coming up November 3rd. You can listen to his song. Actually, it's playing right now if you're listening. You know, and he says he wants to turn everything blue. So, you know, if you support the Democrats or whatever, make sure that you exercise your right to vote. Everybody has a citizenship right to vote. You know what I'm saying? So just exercise it. You know. And I do think it's important, and I stress it all the time, that like we shouldn't just think about the presidents, also locally. Find out who your DAs are, your councilmen. You need to find out who these people are because they last longer than the president. They're in those and hold those positions for years. So I feel like we look at politics as we vote every 4 years, like it's a boxing match.
Every 2 years.
Yeah, man, we gotta. It's real important, especially for Black people. So. Definitely, man. But man, I really appreciate you for coming through.
I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Absolutely. And I'm looking for the projects. If you got an EP or anything, man, you always got a home here to promote that. And yeah, man, we're gonna. And how can everybody follow you? Go ahead.
Beepa Tha King, man. YouTube, Beepa Tha King. Instagram, Beepa Tha King. Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you can Google Beepa Tha King and everything about me. Stand up. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Beepa Tha King, man. Fuck with the boy. You feel me?
Absolutely. No, you good. No, you good. Hey, it's raw here. It's raw here. Yeah. It's
all
all
you know
good.
what I'm saying? But yeah, Beepa Tha King, man. You know what I'm saying? Follow me everywhere, man. Like I said, I appreciate you guys for having me.
Absolutely. And you already know where to follow me at JAYR3D. Visit ResView.com to get your official ResView t-shirts. I don't have my own right now, but make sure that you go to the website, subscribe to youtube.com/We Authentic Network, and don't forget to hit that like button, all right?
That part.
Yeah, definitely. So, man, this is J Red, Beepa Tha King. ResView, baby. We signing out.
Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up.
I know you got doubts, but get to the bag. Just follow the dream and stick with the plan. I know you get worried, I know you get scared, but it take that risk.